We finally completed one of our projects in Moscow City.
Actually, it's an apartment in a tropical style, Balinese style. Just imagine, 60th floor, skyscraper, business center, and Bali. Let's hurry up and go check it out. A 970 square feet apartment for a young man who is really into traveling. And he came to us because he simply adores Bali. And so, we brought Bali here for him, to Moscow City.
Initially, the layout consisted of a kitchen living room and 2 bedrooms. But since the client lives alone, we decided to give up 1 bedroom in favor of a larger kitchen living room. Also, we slightly rearranged the rooms to eliminate a separate corridor and to place the living room where the best views are. In the end, we managed to arrange a large kitchen living room and a separate bedroom here. The bedroom has a walk-in closet and a large, spacious bathroom with a bathtub.
If you look at the apartment, it's based on minimalism, and only the decor creates that Bali vibe. A lot of plants, but in reality, since the client travels a lot, the plants aren't real, they're artificial. And now they make really high-quality, nice artificial plants that look truly cool. And of course, decorative elements, various vases, a lot of things brought from Indonesia. This table, it's made from real roots. It's from Teak House, the guys bring real items from Indonesia. And it also creates that vibe.
We've got 2 sofas in the living room. By the way, both sofas are Baxter because they're really comfortable.
Oh.
Usually when our clients sit on a Baxter, that's it.
Yeah.
They don't sit on anything else.
I can't get up now because it's just hugged me and pulled me in.
All right, time to work. Let's get to work. We placed one of the sofas in the corner of the room because this is Moscow City and there's a great view here. The backrest of this sofa can be adjusted so you can sit facing the city.
And? Actually, I think this is already the 7th apartment we've done in this tower. I've got an apartment in the neighboring tower myself. For those who haven't seen that video, you can check it out, see what I did for myself. And if anyone, guys, needs an apartment and wants a cool design, you can come to us because we already know this inside out. Right now, we're starting another renovation in Capital Tower, which is a very popular tower at the moment.
As you've noticed, there's no TV in this apartment because there's a huge projector screen. So you can watch movies even during the day. We've installed blinds here. You can lower them completely. They block out all the light. You can lower the projector screen, relax on this gorgeous sofa with friends, and watch a movie.
And to have awesome sound in a home theater, you need a good acoustic system. Here there are no floor-standing speakers because all the speakers are built into the ceiling. To add depth to the interior, we used panels, and the panels have this textured veneer. In fact, we use this veneer not only in Russia. We have projects in Indonesia, in Bali, and we recently released a video about a villa in Bali. By the way, the video will be useful for those who are creating a tropical style interior for themselves, because it is about elements that create that tropical style. And this veneer is exactly one of those elements that create the tropical style.
These panels slightly protrude from the wall surface to create depth and to give the effect of 2 protruding cubes. We placed lighting behind them so that in the evening you can leave only that on, and it creates a cool vibe. Since all our walls and ceiling are finished in dark, almost black decorative plaster, it creates this cozy, slightly cave-like feel. With this lighting, it looks really striking.
A lot of people are afraid to paint the ceiling in a non-white color. But here, the black color actually adds space and openness to the rooms because black is the color of infinity, the color of the sky. It feels like you're lying down and gazing at the stars. And by the way, it's very convenient. It hides all the lights, all the hatches needed for air conditioning and engineering systems. So guys, use it, paint the ceiling black, and don't be afraid that it will make the space feel smaller. Here we have an inspiring workspace. You can sit and admire the skyscrapers. Here we can see Oko Tower, VTB Tower, and overall, there's a view of the entire city. You set up your laptop, work, get inspired, and cool ideas start coming to you. And here on the other side, we have a shelf. The idea of this shelf is that its sides are slightly angled. So you can place books and you can position this shelf in such a way that it doesn't take up much space and doesn't occupy too much room. And by the way, the title on the book will still be visible. So guys, use angled shelves like these. They save a lot of space. And a cool effect. It's not just something straight, but something more interesting.
We placed a large, spacious closet from floor to ceiling near the entrance. One section of storage is dedicated to clothing. And behind these milled facades, we've hidden a utility block with a washing machine, dryer, and a section for an ironing board and drying rack. So everything fits here. It's quite spacious. There are outlets for this equipment as well. And these holes aren't just for show. First, they look interesting, and second, they allow air to circulate. On the other side, we have the entrance to the bathroom. The door is mirrored so you can check your reflection in the hallway. There's also an interesting carved wooden bench in the hallway where you can place your bag. And this solution with smart glass, at the touch of a button, it can turn transparent. The kitchen in this apartment is quite minimalist. We use my favorite technique here, where a cube protrudes slightly from the wall surface and lighting is placed above it. And here's another very interesting feature with that far wall. It's made of smart glass. This glass, with the press of a button, can become either transparent or frosted, because behind that wall is the bathroom. Against the backdrop of this light cube, there's an accent Balinese decor piece that also adds to that Bali vibe. The main kitchen unit is quite sleek. We used a cool visual trick here when we lifted the kitchen off the floor. It created this floating console effect. The countertop is made of ceramic granite, and it continues onto the backsplash. And since there was originally a structural column here, we had to incorporate it into the interior somehow. What did we do? We gave up on overhead cabinets because there's plenty of storage space in these large cabinets. And we added a sleek little shelf where we placed some greenery. We complemented it all with Balinese decor. Since cooking doesn't happen very often here, it's quite fitting. This floating kitchen is only possible if you have large column cabinets in your kitchen. All the appliances are housed in this wonderful cube. There's a fridge, a dishwasher, but the most interesting thing, my absolute favorite feature in this kitchen, is this little appliance garage. We specifically installed outlets in this niche so you can place an electric kettle, a steamer, or something else there. Basically all the things that usually clutter up the view of the kitchen unit. But you can easily store them here and quickly close and hide them when needed. Since there are no overhead cabinets here and nowhere to hide the hood, we used a hood built into the cooktop. This is actually a convenient solution for kitchens where cooking doesn't happen very often because there aren't any extra appliances cluttering up the space. Next is the sink. Our sink is black along with the faucet, so it blends seamlessly with the kitchen backsplash. Below the sink, there's this almost cosmic-looking parking spot for sorting waste. The containers are super convenient, color-coded for easy sorting, so it's easy to sort and throw the right trash into the right container. By the way, about the trash, we've got a waste disposal unit here, so you peel the potatoes, toss it all in here, press a button, and it's all ground up and sent straight to the drain. You might be wondering, where do we keep the forks? For that, we have a whole separate large drawer just for storing cutlery. When we open the drawer, we only see the top section. But there's a button here to access the lower section where you can store other dishes.
Actually, it's not just the kitchen that's floating. We also have a floating table because the legs are entirely made of glass. And of course, these tables take us back to Indonesia, to Bali, where there's plenty of such craftsmanship. There, they often use large cross-sections of wood, usually made from teak. And this table we made here in Russia to avoid transporting a heavy tabletop from Indonesia. It's made from our local wood but has that Indonesian look. And these chairs, they were brought in by the client straight from Indonesia. And here's a very important point. When you buy something abroad, especially in a different climate, you need to check how well the wood is dried, whether the furniture manufacturer has good drying machines. These chairs here in particular faced this issue. When they arrived in Russia, they warped a bit due to the difference in humidity. So keep that in mind. But we were still able to restore these chairs. We restored them. A bit of glue, a bit of skilled work. Turned out great, and now it's a piece with history. And of course, guys, you couldn't miss this wonderful lamp. It just takes you to some tropical island as soon as you look at it.
We have a structural element here, a load-bearing column. And when we were designing the layout, we positioned our zones so that the kitchen and living room are arranged in a way that this column zones the two areas. Since this apartment is more like a studio, we can change the zone's functions. So there were no issues placing the kitchen where it was more convenient for us. We tied the column materials to the kitchen backsplash. We use this technique quite often to unify different zones with the same material. Opposite this column, we created a pedestal with a sculpture in Balinese style. So this column is right in front of the entrance to the apartment. So when you enter the apartment, the first thing you see is a kind of installation in Balinese style. In our projects, we often use invisible doors and always paint them the same color as the wall. In this case, we extended it into the ceiling so that when the door is open, the ceiling plane isn't interrupted, giving this perspective. Behind this door is the bedroom.
You can only enter the bedroom through the dressing room. And notice that here, all the rails are open. This, first of all, disciplines you to keep cleanliness and order, not just in the apartment, but also in the dressing room. And of course, there's closed storage where you can keep your underwear. And there's a large mirror which actually separates the bed through which you can admire yourself and the beautiful view through a slit. Let's go to the bedroom. And to integrate the bedroom with the rest of the space, we use the same panels. We placed them the same way, a bit away from the wall, and added perimeter lighting. And by the way, guys, on this wall, first of all, to let natural light into the dressing room and to create a sense of lightness, we made these kinds of openings, slits. On the other side, it's a mirror. On this side, it's also a panel. And to help the client dream of Bali, we hung a dream catcher. There's a very interesting story about these lamps, because the client really liked the lamps from a picture on Pinterest. But we couldn't find such a light fixture anywhere. It was nowhere to be found. So we had it custom made. We specially used wire to create this light fixture and just placed a lamp inside. So that's how this interesting, unusual idea came about, which originated from Pinterest. See, in this spot, there's a track, and on this track, you can move the lights around so you can read a book in bed. They're adjustable, and you can position them anywhere. And of course, there are 2 stumps on either side of the bed. It's a very Balinese theme. Stumps and petrified wood are often used there, and they serve as nightstands. And there's some crazy decor on the nightstands. And naturally, such an apartment needs a crazy view of Moscow City.
The bathroom is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, there's the sink area. By the way, the mirror covers the entire wall, but it hides all the plumbing. To the left of the sink, there's a cabinet with a milled facade for utility items. In the second part, there's a shower cabin and a freestanding bathtub. It's all elevated on a platform with lighting, giving it a floating effect. An interesting point is that you can adjust the water without stepping into the shower. So first, you set the water temperature and flow, and then you step into the shower. The freestanding bathtub features black fixtures. There's this plant installation along this wall. There's also a small stump here. It's made of petrified wood, which is absolutely water resistant. You can place decorative candles on it or any other items.
Since our ceiling is black, the light fixtures should blend with it too. We installed track lights here. The cool thing about these lights is that you can mix and match completely different lights. For example, if you need more light, you can add extra lights. If you need focused light, you can add a spotlight, aim it at, say, a workspace, and it'll illuminate that area. So, Miss, how do you like Bali?
This Bali, it's awesome.
Guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments and we'll answer them all. Like the video, it's very important for YouTube algorithms. Katya, what's next? An apartment in Moscow City in Balinese style, by the way, designed by us. There are 2 large sofas here, and the thing about this sofa